Please remain seated at all times with your hands and feet inside the car. And here we go. Here at the Bronx Zoo, the headquarters of the Wildlife Conservation Society, we're working to save wildlife and wild places around the world. We have scientists and eco-guards working in the field and zookeepers working right here at home to protect a wide range of life. Now I'm going to point out the animals as we approach them, and I'm going to need your help. Scientists and zookeepers need good observation skills to learn about animal behaviors and to ensure their health. Let me know what you see and please share it with the other guests. And we've now traveled over 7,000 miles and arrived in Asia. Be on the lookout for animals. Now, Asia is a continent known for its vast deer population and its deer diversity. But at this time, folks, those animals have migrated to the far side of the zoo, and we will see them shortly. Now, in the meantime, here's one of our zookeepers. Her name is Michelle, to explain this beautiful meadow to us.
Farmers in
Debbie, the rhinos.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm part of the Wild Asia Keeper team. We call this area Kanha Meadow, where we care for about 40 Barasingha deer, 15 axis deer, 10 black buck, and a pair of muntjac. We start our day by checking on all the animals, making sure they are healthy, behaving normally, and safe. Sometimes, fawns and calves are born overnight. Newborns are given a neonatal exam, which includes weighing, vaccination, and tagging for identification purposes. While the animals are in the meadow, we prepare their nighttime holding areas so that they have a safe and clean place to spend the night.
Yes, and again, the animals that Michelle just described, we will see them later on our tour. But these small buildings we're about to pass right here represent a very interesting WCS conservation story.
Farmers in Indonesia live closely with wild animals, like elephants, which we will see shortly. WCS field staff worked with local leaders and farmers in Indonesia to come up with the Crop Protection Unit. This unit created many different ways for farming to continue in close proximity of wild animals. One strategy was to soak ropes in chili powder and place some around the crops. Elephants do not like chili and leave the farms alone, allowing the farmer and the animals to share the habitat peacefully.
Yes, now we all know that a species that's extinct no longer exists. Now the next animal was on the verge of extinction. In fact, the Mongolian wild horse, the Przewalski horse, was extinct in nature, and they could only be found in zoos. But recently, there have been some reintroductions of the Mongolian wild horses in areas of Mongolia and China from our North America and Asian zoos. And as the train rounds this bend and comes into the part of the lower meadow, if you look down to the bottom right, you're now looking at our beautiful Mongolian wild horses standing there like they're holding a town meeting or planning the Great Escape. The beautiful Mongolian wild horses. They are beautiful animals. Now, as you're looking at them, I'm pretty sure you notice the difference between these horses and our domestic ones. One, they have shorter legs and a stockier build. They also have an erect mane. They're missing the forelock. That's a piece of mane that drapes over the forehead of our domestic horses. Now, the Bronx Zoo received its first animals in 1902, and to date, we've had over 50 Mongolian wild horse foals born right here at the Bronx Zoo. Now, in the meantime, here's one of our animal experts. His name is Jonathan Slatt to speak more about these wonderful animals.
I'm Jonathan Slatt, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator for the Wildlife Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place on this earth, and my job is to find practical solutions that allow people and wildlife to thrive together. Przewalski's horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s. And on a recent trip to Kazakhstan, I thought about the ongoing and successful efforts in that country to bring these horses back to the Central Asian steppe. The world needs happy stories, to watch the impossible become possible, and to see hope restored. And that's what's happening today with Przewalski's horse.
Yes, now folks, this upper meadow that we're in right now is just an extended area where we do allow our horses to play, frolic, and run around. So here at the Bronx Zoo, we do offer them plenty of room and allow them to do just what they want to do. Again, our Mongolian wild horses, and again, all this upper area is theirs, and yes, they use every bit of it. This is all theirs. And we're now on the lookout for two vulnerable and endangered species, and believe me when I tell you one is very large. We're talking about the brown antler deer and the gawa. Now, the brown antler deer get their name from the curved shape of the male deer antlers. Currently classified as vulnerable, these deer are continuing to lose their wild space, and in many places herds must resort to feeding on crops as their natural habitat has been taken over for farming. Now folks, if you quickly look as we're passing by to the back left, for those in the back to the right, those beautiful deer right there are the female brown antler deer. There's also one laying on the rock by itself. These are the female brown antler deer. Now folks, the reason I stress females, the females do not have the antlers like the males. And the reason we have the females out today because it is a ladies' day out, so it's their day out. the female brown antler deer. Now let's see if we can locate those Gower, the world's largest wild cattle. Now, males can weigh over 2,000 pounds, as much as a small car. They stand 6 feet tall and are 10 feet long. And with their large size and impressive horns, a male Gower can fight off just about anything, and folks, that includes a tiger. But what threatens these huge animals is the loss of their Asian habitats and diseases that they do catch from other domestic cattle. Now, I'm looking to the far right, folks. They're way in the back to the corner. If you follow that fence line to the right, you're going to see two groupings of Gower. I wish that they were closer so you can really appreciate their great size. But even from this distance, you can see how big these animals are. Now, if you can, try to get a good look at those horns. Now, if those horns are curving in, those are our females. If they're slightly pointing up, those are our males. Now, only 4 zoos in America carry this species, and of course, we're one of them. And we're also trying to increase our herd as we've added 2 females and a male from San Diego. They are the Gower, the world's largest wild cattle. And again, the female brown antler deer. They are huge. And as we're about to test our scientific and observation skills, you might be hearing a noise coming from the concrete jungle rather than the Asian one. You know, it's easy to forget that the Bronx Zoo sits in the heart of an urban environment. And the noise that we're hearing behind us now is the traffic from the Bronx River Parkway. And this very large fence that we're approaching right here is used to reduce the noise of that city traffic, because we do want to keep our animals calm. Now, I'm going to ask everyone to please remain seated as we're about to round this corner, because we are now on the lookout for a tiger. Now, tiger stripes provide excellent camouflage, so they're very often difficult to spot. They're so secretive that even our professional researchers have a hard time finding them. Now, adult tigers normally live alone in the wild, which is why you're only going to see one of them at the exhibit at a time. And once we round this corner, we're going to be on the lookout for Anakin. He's our 8-year-old male Siberian tiger. And now the 2 types of species that we do show here at the Bronx Zoo, the Malayan. Getting back to Anakin. Now, the 2 types of species that we do share at the Bronx Zoo, the Malayan and the Siberian. The Siberian are the larger of the 2. Now, one of our guests said they found them laying down. All right, so we're going to look to the right, to the left. All right. Yep, that's him. Yes. I was wondering. Now, folks, if you look at the pool, to the tip of the pool, he's right there, making me jealous. He's right there in the pool, waiting. There he is. He's coming out right now, folks. He's a big one. Isn't he beautiful? Now, tigers hunt a variety of animals, but they prefer wild pigs and medium-sized deer. Now, typically, a tiger will gorge himself on a fresh kill, eating as much as 40 pounds at one time. Now, just think, that's the equivalent of you and I eating 160 hamburgers in one sitting. Now, if the meal of that size, a tiger will not eat again for about several days. And if you do want to get a closer look at our tigers, you can visit our Tiger Mountain right here at the Bronx Zoo. Again, that was Anakin, folks, our 8-year-old male Siberian or more tiger. Now, as we come down this small hill, folks, we're now in the back of the Gower exhibit. Now, we have 2 brief openings. The second one, if we want you to look up, you're going to get a closer look at the Gower, the world's largest wild cattle. There they go. They are huge, the Gower. Now, as we come down this lower part of the meadow, we're now to look out for the animals that Michelle spoke about in the first meadow that we didn't see: the barrasinger deer, the axis deer, and the black buck antelope. Now, if you look back into the field, we'll see if you see some tan and white belly. Look down to the bottom right, folks. Those spotted deer are the axis deer. Now, they're native to India and Sri Lanka, and the Bronx has been showing those particular deer here since 1899, when the zoo first opened 120 years ago. Now, if you look below again, these beautiful honey-colored deer laying here, folks, these are the beautiful barrasinger deer. Now, they get their name from the look of the male deer antlers. Barrasinger means 12 tined in Hindi, and that just means that the males have 12 to 14 points on those antlers. Now, as you're about to pass this large tree coming up on your right, look under the tree, you're going to see a lone male black buck antelope by himself with those dual horns. That's a male black buck antelope. Now, the next animal blends in with the muddy area. It calls home. If you see what looks like a pig with upper tusks that are up through the top of his snout and curved backwards towards his eyes, you found a pig called the Barbarossa. And the fact that the tusk resemble antlers earned this pig its name. Barbarossa means pig deer in the Malay language. Now, males will use those tusks to fight with other males to display dominance in order to attract other females. Now, they're gray in color, so they blend in very well with the exhibit as we're passing by this bamboo. And the first pen, folks, we have the females. She's coming close to us. She's standing right out there in the sun. That's the female. She will not have those tusks. She has a long snout. That's the female, Barbarossa. Now, the second pin, we're going to see if we can locate that male. He will have those tusks. And he's right below us, of course. Instead of walking away from the fence, he's right below us. So he's going to make it hard now. He's starting to walk away. Now, folks, if you had a hard time seeing those animals, believe me, you will not have a hard time seeing our next one, because we're about to see the world's largest land mammal, and of course, we're talking about our Asian elephant. So, Star, look to the right, folks. We have Patty out today. Now, she's standing right out here in the sun. Now, that large tree that you see by the tip of her pool is an elephant-sized back scratcher. Now, African and Asian elephants are iconic animals worldwide. Whoops. Sorry about that, Patty. But they're struggling in the wild. Now, the first thing that you notice about this lovely lady is her size. Now, Asian elephants can weigh more than 10,000 pounds, so they eat a lot of vegetation. Now, Patty eats about 200 pounds of hay a day. She drinks about 60 gallons of water, which she's emptying out right now. Now, take a good look at that trunk, folks, because only Asian elephants have this adaptation. She has a finger-like feature on the end of her trunk where she can gently pick up an egg. Or with that same trunk, she can tear down these tree branches out here with enormous force. That trunk holds more than 40,000 muscles. It's an incredible tool. Now, Patty's almost 50 years of age, folks. She's almost 50 years old. Now, here at the Bronx Zoo, we do take very good care of our elephants. They not only get baths, but they get pedicures as well, and they deserve it. That's right, ladies, they get pedicures. That is Patty, our Asian elephant. And as we leave our elephant zone, we're now on the lookout for another large mammal. This one tends to weigh around 3,500 pounds. Has a horn on its nose. It looks to be armor-plated, but nothing can be further from the truth when you talk about a rhinoceros skin. And we're now on the lookout for Callie. She's our 3,500-pound Indian rhinoceros. Now, I don't see her in the back, and I don't see her in the first mud wallow. So that means here to the bottom right. So that means she's either in or near the second much larger mud wallow around the bend. So we're going to scoot around there, and as we do, I'm going to give you some facts. Now, all rhinos are highly endangered, with less than 2,000 surviving in India and Nepal. Now, here at the Bronx Zoo, we've had great success caring for these very rare animals, but breeding is a huge challenge. Now, this part is directed to the moms on the train. Moms, listen to this. A female rhino stays pregnant for 16 months. Then after being pregnant for almost a year and a half, they give birth to a calf weighing between 55 to 100 pounds. Now, the calf will stay with its mother for about 2 to 3 years, even though weaning will only take about 12 to 16 months. Now, again, most people think that rhinos are armor-plated, and again, nothing could be further from the truth. They just have a layer of skin that has many folds, which you're about to see, folks. I see Callie. Start look to the right. As we clear these trees, she's going to be right in the back of that tree. There she is over there grazing. There she is. And she looked like she just came out the mud wallow because her hind part is wet. Now, again, when you see a rhinoceros in the mud, they're not in the mud because they like it, folks. They're there to protect that very sensitive skin from sunlight and from insects. Again, they are not armor-plated. That is a myth. As a matter of fact, one of our other rhinos, her name is Penny. Before the zookeepers bring her out, they have to actually put sunscreen on her face to make sure that she does not sunburn. They are not armor-plated. That is a myth. There she is, all 3,500 pounds of her. Now, we've had 11 baby rhinos born right here at the Bronx Zoo, and our newest calf was born in the summer of 2013. And we're currently at the Bronx Zoo caring for 5 endangered species as I speak. Now, that's Callie, our Indian rhino. Now, that much larger mud wallow that we're passing now, folks, is the original mud wallow of Wild Asia, made back in 1977 and made larger by our rhinos all by themselves. Now, how do they do it? They just continually stomp around it. They just continually stomp around it, making it bigger and bigger to their liking. And again, they've been doing it since 1977 when Wild Asia first opened 42 years ago. And as we leave Callie behind, we go to our next 2 very large meadows. We're now on the lookout for 4 different deer species and 1 species of antelope. Now, the first deer we're going to be on the lookout for is the sandbar deer, one of the largest deers in southern Asia. They stand about 5 feet tall at the shoulder, weighing as much as 650 pounds, with antlers that grow at least 3 feet long. We're also going to be on the lookout for the Nilgai antelope. Now, they get their name from the color of the male's coat. Nilgai means blue bull in Hindi, and that's because the males have a bluish-gray tint to their coat, and the females have a yellowish-brown in theirs. Males have horns, where the females do not, and they've been clocked around 30 miles per hour while running. They are very fast. They are also the largest antelope species in Asia. And we're also going to be on the lookout for the hog deer. Now, they get their name because they're short and heavy like a hog. They creep, they duck, they run under things, rather than jump over things like other deer, hence the name hog deer. Now, again, we're entering 2 very large meadows, and we're also going to be on the lookout for the beautiful spotted Formosan sika deer, and they're from the Isle of Taiwan, formerly known as Formosa. And because of early habitat loss and overhunting in the early 1970s, all but eliminated their herds in the wild. You can only find them in zoos and parks in Taiwan, and we here at the Bronx Zoo have one of the largest herds in the world. Now, those 3 deer that you see laying by the fence, folks, are the hog deer. I call the little guys the creepers and the duckies. Now, folks, give me 1 second. 1 second.
Ya estamos. Come on, dear.